All right. So it's been a while since I made a video. That's is me in it. Me making these short videos because I think they can depict things and how they're going, and I'm gonna continue to do this like mix because as a target individual, every day consists of manipulation of some sort. That's why I kept showing things every day. And I want to make videos for all target individuals to never subscribe to these things. You've seen all the different parts of the manipulations of things they try to use to make you accept these things. A lot of the things they're using is the things that they themselves made me react, and it's they are so delusional in the sense that they think if they act accordingly, if they slam the doors, if they're saying, if they tell me how they're gonna frame me and set me up, then I'll be like, you know what? Because you're gonna set me up, because you're gonna frame me, because I'm gonna be castrated, because I'm gonna get raped. You are not manipulating me. I am accepting to this false persona you've not created. And they use these childlike people, they keep calling me Robert. I'll show like the names they can say. And it's just so pathetic. And you see how pathetic it is. I've shown the people around me, blurred them, of course. And it's like these people are supposed to make me accept this persona, right? And they use these childlike people. It's so sad. It's so sad because listen, I know who put me in this program. They want to live in their fantasy where like all they matched it. I subscribe to this thing is their investigations. They use this condescending tone of voices, thinking that that's going to make me subscribe to it. They use these people. My whole ecosystem is there to try to make me subscribe to it. Till my last breath, I'll never subscribe to these things. They know I'm not subscribing to it. The latest manipulation, which is not new, it's something old, but they're bringing back with my brain even worse in the worst case scenario. There's this DBRICK sister, right? I showed the pictures, right? I don't know if I can bring it up here, and I'm glad I have a picture because in my mind it's something else, right? I remember not too long after the V2K started, right after August 2019, maybe early 2020, right? I was watching a lot of Dobrik YouTuber videos, right? Just to pass the time. And somehow this video came and it was the picture of, let me show you. And they hate that because they want me to be subscriptive to this thing. Matter of fact, they're forcing me to get stimulation now because they want me to be stimulated before it actually happens. So let me show you. And there's this short video. So you see her. I don't know if you can see. It's one of my videos, and they stimulated me because she's like, you see that she's like wearing a tank top and try to be like sexual, whatever, and it can create so much stimulation on the baby. So her, of course. And so I was scrolling down and I see this girl, right? She looked very young. I don't know how young, but just young. And for a second, in my mind, even the title said Dobrik's sister, I thought it was Dobrik's girlfriend. So they could make so the reason why they made me think this way is because I think they wanted me to start perceiving her as an adult, right? So she's young, so like, can she pass for like early adulthood, maybe like 18, something like. And this guy Dobrik is not that old, so I could see them being like, if they was that young, if they was 18 years old and he's like 20 something, early 20s, I can see that, right? The reason why they were trying to make me perceive her that way because they gave me this sexual stimulation toward her. I remember that, like I can't forget that. But because at the time they were doing this towards little kids, like much younger, right? Kids that are like 10 years old, even younger. Them doing that to this person, it was not that much. It was not that bad in comparison to the babies, right? And so now, right, they're trying to go back to this. Is like, you see how. Oh, you see, Robert. First of all, they're the one who force you to get the stimulation, and then they like try to play my mind in like, how would you perceive her? Would you perceive her as an adult, or as a like? Would you guess her age, right? And they try to do this thing, and it's like, oh, they're like, the way they were trying to, you think she's hot, huh? Hot. I was like, this is very pretty, good for her, but she's a teenage kid. They're like, no, she's hot. You want her? It's like, no. You want me to want her because she's a child. This is the things they do. And they start calling themselves hot because somebody here is going to frame me. It's like, oh, we're hot. We're hot. No, you're not. And because this kid is dressed in a sexual way, typical teenager, kind of like looking like young teen, I mean, young adult teenager look, and so they can force me to have sexual perception. They do that toward babies, but they want me to subscribe to this. And this is during the manipulations of, it's not like before I was just me. So they're trying to use their manipulations as proof of what's happening to me is naturally happening. And they're making noise campaign. And they're like, oh, we're going to be watching. We're going to set you up. It's like, exactly. And they're like, oh, they're going to watch it. Listen, you do that to babies. Of course, I'm looking at her knowing that she's only a 16-year-old. They're forcing me because, now that, especially now that I know that she's 16 years old, they I can, you will never go there. The reason why they tried to make me think it was the girlfriend is because if maybe like my perception sees her as older, I can let a perception be more sexual. But as soon as I see like 16, it goes down, right? So that's why they try to make me think that people are older. So I can let the brain, like my brain can be like more easily manipulable. So now that, especially now that I see that like she's like a teenager. And on top of that, they create perceptions and they create stimulations. All of that is like, oof, it was intense. It was an intensity. I can never forget how intense the stimulation was. Now, understand. You see, I don't know if you see. Please go check my previous short videos. You see, she's a typical like teenager that could pass maybe for 18 years old, right? 18 maybe, and so you can create sexual stimulation easily than the baby next to her, right? And so they want me to be like, oh, you see, now you pay, we can create. Like, what? You are literally forcing an adult man to be stimulated on a kid, and you like, now you pay. Of course, I know that's your job. They are trying to gaslight me using threats of or warnings of torture. As if, like, I don't know that you guys force people to have these perceptions, these stimulations to teenagers specifically. That's why in my short videos, I put that specifically. Now, with me, that is not the worst case scenarios. They've done it to baby. That's why I compare it. Like, if you can do that to this little girl, this teenager who can maybe pass for 18, like that is nothing. So that's why I put these things together. Like I compare them to all my target individuals. They've been telling me how they're gonna torture me, they're gonna be, and they've done is so much nastiness in my brain. And they want me to be scared of it. These people have been working day in and day out to think that I'm gonna subscribe to these things. And it's like we have proof. Here, no, you have proof that you can manipulate me. Look at her. Now, this is not the worst. Look at the kid next to her. You understand? It's like, no, you have proof that you have been manipulating me in all different ways. Obviously, there's the babies, that's the most disgusting, and there's the other one. It's like, no, you attract, no, you stimulate me. You stimulated the libido. I know what you guys are capable of doing. Your job is to make me accept this. You're not here investigating. You guys work for pedophiles. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put like the name that can be put it who say. If you see, and that's why I keep like showing pictures of some of my perps. You know that these people are not here investigating. They're here trying to make you accept these nasty manipulations. For me, it's been the back and forth. Now, in my head, right, if I didn't have the picture of that, it would be worse. It would be so much worse. They could have created different things. Like now I can go back, like you see that? I can see the teenage kid in her. Like I can see a teenager, typical. Now I can also see how you can force me to perceive her a little bit older and give some sexual stimulation. I can see that. I will never have anything toward her naturally. Nothing. I'll see her like, oh, this like typical teenager, whatever. Okay. I will not get like sexual stimulation. Now they're like, would you guess her age correctly? It's like, what if I don't get? Listen, I will not. I don't know if I'll guess her age correctly or not. I'm not a freaking scanner, right? I will say like she's young, she's like in a teenage, late teen, or like something like that. But would I get stimulation? No. Now today, with how little it takes for them to stimulate me, this for sure they can crank up everything. So I know myself, and I know their job is to make me subscribe to it. So that's why I put things in contrast. If you can stimulate me toward this, there's actually babies, little babies that they force me to be stimulated toward. You tell me this teenage kids, you can do that. Yeah, like you understand? They use this child like before. It's like, oh, you are. It's like, no, listen, you work for pedophiles. You're forcing me to be stimulated, especially now. Especially now that I know how old she is. Because initially, what happened is they made me think that was Dobrick's sister. No, sorry, they make me say the wrong things on purpose because they want me to be frustrated, just like somebody else. They made me think that was Dobrick's girlfriend, right? And then for some reason, like my brain just went there. Of course, they forced me to think that way, so I can think that she's an adult, right? A young adult. Then I read the title. I was like, oh, that's Dobrik's sister. It's like, oh, okay, then that could be like I don't. How old is she then? I googled her age. She's just like a 16-year-old in this picture. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, that's why. Okay, I didn't care. I was like, oh, you guys stimulated me to a 16-year, whatever, because I was being stimulated by a 3-year-old or 4-year-old. This trash, we're doing this nasty shit, nasty things to our babies. So this, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. This is yeah, whatever. Immediately, I was like, okay, she's a 16. Bye. I don't, like it's not gonna. I'm gonna forget about it. Today's like, no, you like they're attracted to this like teenagers, and you have teenagers here so, calling themselves hot because they're delusional. And my point is, they're gonna do what is gonna happen. Whatever's gonna happen is supposed to be happening because I'm a target individual. But I'm not gonna give them the satisfaction of living their fantasies. They're gonna understand this technology does this, right? But your job, like they don't understand. Sorry, they're gonna know that I know that this technology manipulate people to have these disturbing stimulations, specifically even to kids, even teenagers. You've been doing this to me, manipulating me, making me thinking I'm going to like I will never subscribe to that. They literally been conditioning me, having me to have dreams with people whose age are like ambiguous. They have it's been training my mind to kind of think in these ways and make me think, like they make me think of this kid now, right? And make me think of like somebody who likes kids like that, like likes kids. Sorry, they try to like teenagers or like this kind of like they try to make me imagine a persona that would like this thing. It's disgusting. In my mind, it's like, oh, kids like that. Oh, wow, what kind of kids? Like, they play with my word age in order to get me frustrated. They're disgusting. If they can do that toward these little babies, what do you think they do toward like older kids? They have no shame. And right now they go, oh, but black little girls, like, oh, God, this is, you got to be strong. But for me, I understand whatever's going to happen to me is going to happen to me, but I will never subscribe to this. They keep telling me how they're going to implant their porn, their child porn. You understand? These are the same people controlling your brain. And you hear these childlike people just going to their battle. They think they are still at war. Like they think this is war. When in reality, they're just trash. Somebody comes and say hi to me. I don't even know. I ignore them. It's like, you're just trash. Come on. You think I'm going to subscribe to this? You think, like, look at the baby. So to all my target individuals, for me, it's going to be nonstop. But I'm going to make sure that I record and show what they're doing because I won't be the only one that they're going to do this to. You gotta be strong. You gotta understand that these people's sole job is to make you accept this manipulation. The whole ecosystem is around you to make you accept this. And they use technology torture. Obviously, they use technology to make you accept that you're gonna be rotting. You're rotting. So what does it have to do with you manipulating? Like, you understand? They don't even. They just try to disorient you. Oh, you're rotting. The reason why they tell you you're rotting at this moment, which is true, they're doing things to my body. It's because they want you to think outside of like like forget about the fact that they're manipulating toward kids and stimulate you toward like this is crazy. They stimulate you and they want you to be like, oh, because I'm rotting, I guess I should accept this manipulation as if it's happening organically. It, it's called they disorient you. Yes, they're doing horrible things to my body, but they also are trying to make you accept these disturbing things in your head, which their job is to make you subscribe to it. You understand? And you have grown men who try to make you accept these things. It's like you're rotting. He's saying that because you think that because you're doing that to me is. I know you do these pedophile things. You think I'm going to forget all the testimonies? This is how much validation could one have? You sold your soul to pedophiles, and now this is what is going to happen to you. This is what's happening to me because somebody put me in this program, and you do your job, and your job is to make me accept this manipulation. You are not this fantasy that you've created. You are this. You work for this program that's manipulating people in these disturbing ways, and actually, in these agencies, there's actually pedophiles, and you can't even speak about an actual pedophile that's picking up kids, and you think you are here thinking that I'm gonna look at you as somebody who's investigating, and they're like, no, there is yeah, please, you're gonna stimulate me, you're gonna crank up my libido, you're gonna do whatever's possible to look at kids in a sexual way, and you're gonna come out and say, oh, there is. To all my target individuals, your whole ecosystem is gonna try to make you accept this false persona. Stay strong, know that justice is gonna be done, and know that you could have been living the life the way they're living in humiliating ways and coward ways and in the most compromised way, and then try to walk around and think that your life is okay. I heard a grown woman coworker say, oh, our pedophilia, I don't know if she's saying that this manipulation is theirs. I don't know if she's saying that they're gonna implant child porn, but you see how they started to normalize it. Start to start to like this. I'm not gonna let them live their fantasy. You're gonna normalize it within your circle. Me, I'm gonna say this trash. I sold the soul to pedophiles, and here forcing people to think this pedophile was. And they're like, no, we're just avenging for what you've done. It's like, listen, do you think that I feel validated because only men said that? There are fraud, disgusting trash that lives in this bubble of fantasies that they created for themselves. Try to block out. And somebody said, "Oh, you're such a freaking hero, huh?" It's being a hero now to them. It's me saying things that they don't want to hear. They are they have put themselves on a spectrum of no return, and I'm here to help them figure that out. To all my target individuals, stay strong. Do not subscribe to the